Not agree with you, the way you want to go, the way you want to go about it.
You let agree, you let tell me that way. You let tell me that way. Yeah, okay. 3 days way. Only it makes it simple.
Yeah, it will make it simple.
It doesn't also involve it growing for it.
Yes, I agree. I understand your point.
When you say there's no advancement, yes. Yes, when you say there's no advancement, ordinarily meaning in Ghana, you don't pay until you get your goods. Now, the contract here, even the unless maybe there is not draft the contract on it, says everything on types of goods shall be signed upon the signing of the contract for you to tell.
No, it was the contract was drafted by government. It was done by government. And NG department below the contract and approved the contract for government.
It is not a problem. We have the approval. Every contract is approved before later when they implement it in progress.
You see, what the difficulty I have with your position is that, you see, frankly speaking, fine, as you are saying, if I agree to your position, how you want to go about it, and how you want me to go about my answering questions and things, if I go by that way, frankly speaking, I'll be dishonest. Because I know that is not how it's supposed to be. And I'll be dishonest, and I'll be dishonest in such a way that I'll be assisting for someone I know is completely innocent about this, for example, Atto Forson, to be jailed because I knew something was wrong, was not the way, and I decided to keep quiet and to answer the question in a way that will make your case better for you to jail him. I'll have a battle with my conscience. That is the problem I'm having. Anytime you bring up this, that is my problem I'm having. Because me, for example, I am in this case because I'm innocent and I'm going through ordeal. So I'm looking at another person also going to go through ordeal and through me because I know the truth and I decide not to say it because I want to help the AG make his case. And I ask myself, what is my interest in it?
I'm not asking you to read that. I'm just going by it. Anyway, so that's fine. So this one, you get by the way.
I hope you get my difficulty.
It's on the phone. I don't even know that.
Oh, no. No, don't worry about that one. My issue I'll tell you that. Oh, you and I will be meeting, you'll be meeting me at my cousin's place, and you'll be bringing this issue up several times. And I keep telling you that I can't do that because it doesn't sit well with me.
The terms of contract are simple. And it's on site and established upon the side of the contract for you to tell us.
Yeah. It's for every, so when you see the hand, for every 50 ambulance, means that it's not only the 50. For every. It means that it is not only 50. Means that there are a lot of 50s that will be following. So that is what I was trying to explain to you. Was as a security for the supplier to invest his own.
So this is a secretly recorded conversation. And you see that the Attorney General admitting that he made a call. He reached out to him. And in fact, if you listen to the fuller recording that was released in the 60 minutes, towards the end, Attorney General says in there that he placed a call. And there's a reason why he did so. He did so because he was traveling and he wanted Jakpa to assist him, tell the court, give the court a story that would then compel the court to adjourn the case. In fact, he then suggested to Jakpa to put in an excuse duty that he was not well, like he was sick. A doctor's excuse duty to say that he wasn't well, that then would compel the judge to adjourn the case because he, Dr. Redami, was traveling and would not be in town at the time when the case is next called. And Jakpa was making the point that he can't do that because this same judge in question had already issued a bench warrant for him before, and he didn't want to do that. And so we established that indeed he placed the call, and he placed the call for a reason. The reason he told us in this particular tape was that I wanted this case adjourned. Can you help me? Can you put in a request to say you are not well, you're sick? Let the doctor write that for you, and then the court adjourn that. There have been questions that have been raised about that particular thing, but we'll come to that. But if you listen to what we just played there, and then you come to the claim that the Attorney General's office has made over the period, one of the substantive points it made, one is that the AG met Jakpa only once at the residence of a Supreme Court judge. And we'll put this whole Supreme Court judge conversation in its proper context for a second, right? And you hear that tape. So far, the only evidence that we've had is this tape, right? And that tape is a phone call initiated by the Attorney General. So there's no reference to the Supreme Court judge as far as his involvement in arranging this phone call is concerned. It is a phone call that the Attorney General made to Mr. Jakpa. So we'll come to that. But then you also see the point about he meets him once, right? And the Attorney General Department had made the point, we'll come to that, where in their statement they make the point that there had been no contact. But is that really the case? This establishes that there has been contact. And then we've also seen that as the timelines have changed, that at the time the incident happened, Mr. Jakpa did not have a lawyer. The NDC said today, and they are very emphatic, that this call was made on the 9th of April. 9th of April, Jakpa was represented. It was a represented individual because he was represented by Atto Forson in the case before the Supreme Court. So a few discrepancies are thrown out once you listen to this tape. A few other things come up that we learned from the tape. And this is against the backdrop of all the reactions we've heard to the tape that was last week promised that nobody had heard before. But we've had reaction from the camp of the governing New Patriotic Party. One of the things they said was that this was all part, if indeed we had it, now we've had it. It was all part of what they call the grand scheme to entrap the Attorney General and ambush him. That the Attorney General was ambushed, right? And that he had really nothing to do with this. He didn't initiate this conversation. And if you really look at what entrapment means, it's very clear what it means. The individual must be in a position where he's forced to say or do something to incriminate himself that he would otherwise not do. If you listen to that conversation that Attorney General initiated, clearly it isn't an entrapment. And I'm referencing this recording because it is the evidence we have so far. It hasn't been contradicted by way of evidence. And so we are working with that. The NDC promised it and they put it out. And then you come to the second point about ambush, that the Attorney General was ambushed. Again, if you have to ambush somebody, it has to be sudden, it has to be surprising that he didn't know, and then you spring the attack on him. But if he initiated the call, he could not have been ambushed. It's as simple as that. But a few other things we learned. And there's been a constant reference to this Supreme Court judge. There's no evidence of alleged, and this is the point that we learned here. There's no evidence of the alleged Supreme Court judge's involvement in the supposed entrapment of the AG. Again, relying on that evidence we've heard, right? The call that we heard, it's a call that was placed by the Attorney General to Jakpa. There is nowhere in that conversation that we had that there was a conference call in which, at the heart of it, mediating this particular conversation, was a Supreme Court judge. It was between the two individuals, a call that was initiated with the Attorney General needing assistance. Two things really. He was asking him to go and make pronouncements in court and admit to things that Mr. Jakpa believed would incriminate cases Atto Forson. And he thought that was wrong. Because the Attorney General, as you heard him say there, that just agreed to this theory and to make things simple. He said no. But this is the Attorney General's own initiative. So it doesn't provide any clue, any evidence really to support this claim that you've heard on social media, mainly from the governing New Patriotic Party, that a Supreme Court judge was part of an entrapment or an ambush. There's absolutely no evidence that he was even involved in this particular call that we've seen. And then that we also learned today that it was the AG that initiated